All right, and we are live. Jess, how is it going?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Lo?
Awesome. Let me find our cheat sheet here. Okay, so today we are talking about, well, I'm first of all, I'm Laura. I'm the CEO of Wildebeest Publishing, and Jess is our CFO and chief editor, or editor in chief. Always forget to say that the right way. And today we're going to talk about the three mistakes that self-publishers often make that we have personally seen, and so why they are important not to make them and what to do about them. So before we go any further, Jess, do you have some suggestions for the audience?
Well, being a gamer girl at heart, I love mashing buttons. So if you guys want to do us a solid and hit that little subscribe button wherever it is there done on the thing, that would be awesome. But otherwise, I would say the primary problem that I've seen are editing issues within things. And we all rely on autocorrect so heavily today. Don't get me started on the possessive Saturdays that pop up looking at you, iPhone. But even myself, I've gotten really lazy with my consonants and things like that. So I think there are so many free tools or low cost tools out there that people can get to kind of help them with these things. And just even if you just use the spell check within Google Docs or Word or something like that, I think it's really helpful. I know you've seen a lot of them popping up in some of there too. Even after we've proofread things 5 times, we're still finding mistakes, right, Lo?
Yeah, and if I find the mistakes, there I'm not good at proofreading my own stuff. So if I'm finding mistakes, it's hard. So we've had people who said, oh, we've had, 7 people read this and they all thought it was great. And then we look at it from the publishing standpoint, and we're looking at it from not your friend's point of view, but the stranger's point of view, which is a lot different than someone who cares about you. Once you put your book out into the world for strangers, you're opening it up to trolls, to people who are just having a bad day, or someone who just wants to attack people to make them feel better. So think about Google reviews. You don't want to self-publish a book that is open to Google reviews to anyone and start getting that feedback that you've got a lot of problems. That's not to say we don't make mistakes either.
Everybody does. I mean, I know we've missed a handful ourselves on things and we say it later and we're like, oh, there's that one again. I don't know what it is. And especially when iPhone, because it is instead of a plural Saturdays, it's giving you a possessive Saturdays. So it seems like even our tech, and I've noticed even with using Grammarly and tools and add-ons and things like that, that it will make suggestions that are incorrect. And so you have to be mindful. You have to get another set of eyes on it. And don't always trust the red squiggly lines underneath, but definitely use them as a useful guideline.
Right. Do you have any so if I'm self-publishing, what should I do first? Start with Grammarly and those sorts of things, and then
I think those are excellent starting points. I mean, even if you just want to start with the edit and spell check tools within whatever writing program you're using, whether it's Word or Google Docs or something like that, that's a good place to start. And then go through, if you want to give it a little bit deeper one, Grammarly has different levels, and other Perfectit's another one, different levels that you can pay for or free levels. And then after that, have a friend look at it and then leave it alone for a few days. Look back at it with fresh eyes, because you're just going to be reading it on autopilot if you've just been looking at it again and again. So sometimes just taking a break and then revisiting it is really helpful.
right. And then there are book review groups, there are author groups.
Yeah.
So if you can join one of those groups and get multiple people, strangers, to read your book, that's really the best way to ensure that not only are you spell checking it for grammar and spelling, but you're also looking at it for content review, because that's another thing that I know you spend a lot of time with the authors, is helping them boost their content up. Because it seems like everyone, when they're self-published, well, any author really, a little bit of self-doubt and imposter syndrome goes into the writing. So
Yeah, a lot, definitely. And and that's one thing I've noticed with many of these authors that were writing very personal works to them. I'd read it, and there's 3 that I'm thinking of specifically, and I just wanted more of them in the book. And so then once they were given permission, because they didn't want to put too much of themselves, they just went wild and made the book exponentially better. So it's
yeah,
been
so
great.
let's summarize. So you want to use those tools that are available to you, then jump off to the ones that maybe you can pay for that are a little bit more advanced. Have other people read your book, and you're going to expand from your friends to strangers. You want other people to read your book. Beyond that, you can hire someone like us or someone else to edit your book professionally. Those people are paid to sit down and look at it line by line and try to figure out how they can make it better. Some people are paid to do a content edit and some people are just paid to do a proofread. And so there's different pricing levels for those things. And then I don't know, any final things to tie that up?
Just ask your friends for honest feedback. I mean, your friends may love you dearly, but sometimes they have to tell you, maybe you shouldn't wear that hat anymore, So just tell them like, yes, please, I would like honest feedback on this, help me, help you, help me. So
Awesome.
how about you, Laura? What's some other problems that we've run into here?
I'd have to say the second problem that I see frequently is just with self-publishers is not understanding the technology, the how-to of self-publishing. So they kind of fumble their way through it. And then, yes, they've got a book published on one end, woohoo, it's on Amazon, but they have skimped on so many of the small details that they're either have shot themselves in the foot by way of the royalties that they're getting, or they have really not filled out the keywords and the description and all the little things. So there's so many decisions that go into it and options that are available to you if you don't understand them all and how they affect how you get paid, and how and when people are going to find your book and how it's going to affect your marketing, then you may be selling yourself short. And it's already super hard to market and sell your book. So I think that is the other issue that I think, second to editing, is really understanding. And it takes a long time to understand all of this stuff. And even once you understand it, then there's the technical part of it, actually uploading, putting things in the formats that they're supposed to be in, all of that.
No, definitely. And I remember there was one author that popped into one of our quarterly marketing strategy meetings, and he had some really, really great material, but there was a few little things that he missed there that could have really helped elevate his book a little bit. I think we can talk a little bit more about that when we get into our next issue, right?
Yeah, but staying here first to give away those,
definitely.
how do you overcome this? Well, one is hiring someone to do it for you. So we're here to do that. But you can also, we have consulting services. If you still want to self-publish, but you just want to make sure you checked all those boxes, we are here to also help you with that. But there's a lot of training available on KDP. There's a lot of training available on Readsy, on Ingram Spark, and just make sure you spend time to figure it out instead of just like your end goal being have it out there and available. Because things like how you price them, and if you're going to have expanded distribution versus regular, non-expanded distribution. I mean, what does that even mean? There's a lot to it. So we spend some time with our authors explaining those things and make sure that we get their pricing structure right. Descriptions and keywords and an author page. All of those things matter because, like I said, it's selling your book. Like just putting it out there doesn't sell a book. You have to actually, it becomes a business for you and you have to market and sell it. And if people don't understand what's inside the book, because a cover, like you're talking about, this is a number 3, a cover is important.
Super important, right?
Yeah. So if people don't understand like what's behind the cover though, then there's, even if the cover looks great, they still won't buy it. So these have to be paired together. So yeah, that does jump us into our number 3, which is
don't judge a book by its cover. No, wait, do. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I think we've talked about it before when you and I were visiting some bookshops up in New York. I grabbed that one book just because it looked like an old VHS tape. And I thought it was so cool. Like the big old plastic boxes, the clamshell boxes we used to get. And the book was okay, but the cover was awesome. So I grabbed it, specifically for that. And that's back to the guy that popped into our marketing strategy meeting. I remember when you first showed it to me and you had some comments, and what were they? Just kind of, hey, what is it about?
Right, exactly. So looking at the cover, can I tell if this is a novel? Can I tell if this is educational? Can I tell? And you go stand at the newsstand in Barnes and Noble or in an airport. Airport's a great place because it's a mishmash of everything. And there's no one right way to make a cover. Some are illustrated, some are simple, just text, some are just color, some are bold, but there are definitely certain themes and styles things that match the genre that you're trying to put it in, and also just the fit and finish. So making sure that it's just appealing no matter what style that you go for. So I just heard this yesterday in another meeting I was having with a company who was talking about the branding in a company they had hired. And they're like, well, it's very clip arty. So for the youngsters out there, clip art used to be the like first versions of design, and you would pull out, and it was kind of like innovative at the time. I could just pull clip art and it would take little snippets. Now they're the elements that you see like in Canva or whatever. but they have advanced so much that now, you know, you can pull an illustration, a graphic, a photo. But when they still look clip arty, it basically means they look pixely. And so if you're still using something from that era, it's going to say something. And also, you know, does whatever graphic or design that you put on the cover make sense? So if you're writing about beaches but you put mountains, that's confusing. So there's things like that that need to be looked out for. So again, if you're just looking for someone to review your book before you put it out there and say, hey, did I catch everything? How could I improve this? I mean, even if you've got a book that's already out there and it's not performing, you know, hit us up, let us know that you want us to take a look at it. We can give you suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, we're all inundated with so many choices for so many different things all day long. It's got to be something, you know, and many of us has very specific tastes. So if I'm running through the airport, like you said, and maybe I see, you know, a VHS tape or something, maybe with Super Mario looking type stuff that might catch my eye for some of my interests. And I'll go like, oh, hey, wait, let's pick it up and look at the back cover and maybe learn a little bit more about what's inside. So you definitely want to kind of give a little blurb about who you are, what the story is, or anything like that. Some testimonials, accolades, if it's instructional, things like that. So just have to be mindful with it.
That's a great point. I think that as far as covers go, yes, there's a look and feel of it, but the other, like if we're talking about problems with covers, the second biggest problem is that back cover. With self-publishers, a lot of times you skip it. It's almost like when I'm dealing with career coaching people and they submit a resume without a cover letter. Like you have to have that in there. It's a valid, like important piece of the package. So there are basically like 3 different options for what you might have on the back. It's going to be a description of you as the author, a description of the book, and or endorsements. Like just pick one and get whatever one makes most sense or that you have access to. If you don't have endorsements, put a description. If you have, you know, a really good, if your backstory is really great, put that on there. If I'm going to pick up the book because I'm going to relate to you, that's what should go on the back. But yeah, but not nothing. That's a lot of wasted space that really could help. I picked, like Jess said, I picked up the front. I like the front. I turn it over and I'm like, I don't know what's in here, but I'm on my way to my plane, so I can't buy it because I don't have time to like process that.
I gotta hit Starbucks real fast, so this book will
Right.
have. Yeah. So the front cover is kind of like, hey, look at me, pick me up, and the back cover is like, here's why you should take me home with you today. So yeah, they're
Right.
so important.
All right, awesome. Well, that's it. That's our 3 things: editing, tech stuff, and the cover. So I think
3
that is all.
Woohoo! Well, it was super fun chatting with you. So hope you guys are having fun out there in virtual land. And yeah, if you need anything, you know how to find us, everybody.
Yep. Tune into our Instagram for shorter tips and be sure to hit that subscribe button before you leave. We'll be coming back to talk with our authors. We will be coming back sometimes with stuff like this. That's kind of how to, but we are also, you know, all about the community for our authors. And if you have a question or something that you'd like to learn more about or that you'd like us to talk about, put it in the comments or hit us up on Instagram in our chat or send us an email.
At
So
hello.
until next time.
Till next time, y'all. Bye.
Bye.